enabled in the settings, but I believe it does work with Foxfi. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I haven't tested it yet, haven't gotten around to it, but I'm sure it does work. I'll have to report back to you guys on that later. Alright, and the last included app I want to talk about is the keyboard. I think it's called iWin IME for SH or something like that. It's okay. It has some nice features, but I don't think I could maybe use this as a dedicated Japanese keyboard. Or for English, it's actually quite inconvenient. Maybe you saw the English keyboard in a previous part. This is the English keyboard. As you can see, it's really switch back to. Here we go, the English one. There we go. As you can see, it's kind of cramped. If you look down here, it's got a minuscule spacebar key. Usually when you're typing, if you try and type fast, which you can't do since it doesn't really autocorrect, you'll end up hitting either the wrench for configuration or the punctuation keys. It's really frustrating to type in English on this, but typing in Japanese is actually quite pleasant. The keyboard is responsive. You got access to the emoji, but the emoji are only accessible if you are in the Softbank Mail app. And as you can see here, though, the keyboard is quite chunky, and when you start typing, it brings up two giant rows of predictions. You can reduce it to one row, but you can't change the font size of the predictions like you can on other keyboards. So the amount of space you have to type really only ever stays at one line, which is kind of a bummer. You have these three buttons here: SMS, decoration, and auto art. I'm not sure why they can't move them to the menu here. You could get yourself an extra 2 or 3 lines to make typing easier. There is something I do like about this keyboard, though. I think if you swipe down, sorry, it says swipe up. It is. I think. Let's try that again. Here we go. The handwriting recognition is actually quite nice on this. It's actually more pleasant to use the handwriting recognition than it is to type in English. So let's try it out here. It doesn't let you select that test. And then let's see. Let's type something longer. Oh, it actually predicted goodbye. That's pretty cool. I like how it puts in the space, and it offers actually better predictions. And since you're handwriting, there's less chance of making a typing mistake. So you won't have any problems with the autocorrect unless you actually make a writing mistake yourself. So I think this was pretty cool. But if you want speed, I think the best way is to just use the included AOSP keyboard. Unfortunately, though, you cannot access the emoji from here. You can only access it from the included keyboard and only in the Softbank Mail app, which I currently have open. There are other ways of getting around the emoji limitation, and the other way is to use another keyboard. I use ATOC. It's a bit smaller than the other one, but this one lets me use the emoji thing. There's an option to force emoji anywhere, so that's what I use. But I think I'll give both of them a try, because they both seem like decent keyboards. But just try both of them out and see which one works best for me. Alright, now let's jump into the settings. The settings here they're a bit convoluted. The settings in stock ice cream sandwich are nicely organized, but here you have settings all over the place. You got weird English translations, some inconsistencies. For example, let's see if I can get it to focus here. Come on, camera. Okay, sorry about that. Here we go. So just jump into the sound settings here. You can see that instantly the title changes. I wish it would say either sound settings or it would be named differently, because from this menu you can actually adjust all the notification options, including sound and what pattern the row of LEDs here gets, which unfortunately I wish you could use this as a notification LED, but instead there's the notification LED up here. You can see the charging color is on, but when you get a notification, it either turns blue or green, I believe, and you get one single flash of the row here. So let me send myself a message. Let me lock the phone, and let me send myself a message. Let's see how fast I can receive it. And there you go. See the one flash there, and I think I sent it through, yes, through the Softbank app, so it comes up blue. And you can see you can just swipe to open it here, but I'm not going to do that. Let's jump back into the settings and let's keep looking. So let's hop back here. Wallpaper and display. This is where you can set the wallpaper for your lock screens, or welcome sheet as they call it. You can set the weather and stocks here. I personally don't use the stocks, so I just keep it disabled. Next is the brightness. This is has an interesting extra feature here. It's got like a eco backlight control. It looks like it just dims it a bit more than usual. It's useful if you want to save a bit of battery. Let's see. Here, the quality mode. This is where I can give you some demonstrations. This is what I was talking about with in the browser. It has a setting for this. So why don't we hop back into the browser and let's take a look at the settings here. So I don't know if the camera is going to pick up on these changes, but right now I believe it's set to normal, like the default setting, I think. Settings, picture quality mode. Here we go. Standard quality. Okay, so let's set it to dynamic and let's see if it looks any different. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but at least to my eyes it does look slightly different. Let's change it back to standard. Yeah, the blue on the Denshi Jisho bar up here looks different, as does the gray. Again, I'm not sure if the camera can pick up on that, and let's change it to natural color. Okay, now the colors look even like everything's got kind of like a grayish, washed out-ish thing to it. I guess the camera can't pick it up. I don't know if it'll come out on screenshots either. And I believe the super vivid mode just basically cranks everything and will drain your battery. So let's enable that. Whoa, yeah, it's eye-poppingly bright. Again, the camera might not pick up on the color changes, but I think the automatic brightness got disabled. There we go. And let's go back to picture quality mode and set it back to standard, which is what I like. And let's jump back into the settings. Okay, something really cool about this is that you can actually change the font. You don't have to root. You can download more fonts. I think it's via Softbank. I'm not sure if you can put in your own. But thankfully the regular Roboto font is included. By default the first one is on, and I didn't really like it. And let's go back here. Another one is this veil view, which is kind of like a privacy thing. So maybe you're on the train, you want to conceal what you're doing, or you don't want people to read your messages or what have you. You enable the veil view and it sets a pattern on the screen that makes it difficult to see from the side. I'll put it here. It's kind of hard to see. You can see there's something on the screen, but you can't really make out what it is. Let me see if I can disable that, and barring reflections there, sorry. Let's try to reflect it this way. You can still see what it says. It says veil view, veil view, veil view, and you can sort of make it out, but if I enable it, then it's hard to see what it says. I have a privacy thing there, and it has various settings to adjust the strength of the pattern and brightness and whatnot. Let's jump out of there. I'll go back to the energy saving settings in a bit. Wi-Fi wireless output, I believe that's for videos and such, but I don't have any devices capable of testing that. This Wi-Fi spot settings is for the SoftBank Wi-Fi hotspots. It's not for tethering. As I said before, I do believe tethering may work with that Foxfi or Foxfi app. Mail settings for the SoftBank Mail app. You can configure notifications, ring duration, the LED pattern down here, and lots of other things, but I won't go into too much detail. It's not very interesting. Home applications that I showed you before, you can switch between the 3-line home, which is the default, the Feel UX with the 3 tabs on top, or the SH Home, which is more of a conventional launcher. Pedometer, haven't even touched that. Data usage, battery, fairly standard. And other settings is where, well, at least for me, the most useful settings are the language and input is kind of important to me, and also network settings. In stock Android with network settings, you have the NFC thing here, but here in this phone you cannot configure the NFC, so you can't really disable it. And speaking of NFC, I tried sending contacts and web pages back and forth between my Nexus and this one, but I wasn't able to get it to work. I was quite shocked about that, but that's okay. Wi-Fi Direct is present, although I really have no use for it. And let's hop back in here. Location services, developer options. All the boring options are, at least boring for Japanese people, maybe, or maybe Sharp considers it boring. But anyway, let's jump back to the energy saving settings, and this is where it gets kind of interesting. The energy saving app is actually quite cool here. So it gives you like a nice graph. As you can see, I went from nothing back up to full. I think it's finished charging. You have three modes, like energy saving modes. You got the normal. You got this waza, which means like a trick. It's got energy saving trick. This is kind of like a, I'm doing okay, but I want to save a bit of battery mode. And this one's emergency mode is the, oh shit, I'm about to run out of battery mode, somebody help me. And you can edit the first two. The emergency one you can't edit. Let's take a look what's in here. As you can see, some stuff is disabled and some stuff is enabled. Almost everything is enabled here because you're really not where you want it to look nice. Once you get into the middle one, it starts to get a bit I saw a lot of offs there. And you got some weird ink straight illumi. I guess it means illumination. I guess it's referring to the LEDs on the bottom here. Smooth scroll, animations and whatnot. And once you get to the emergency one, where you can only see what options are checked or what options are turned on and off, basically everything is turned off, like animations, smooth scrolling, the LEDs, everything is turned off. NFC is also turned off. So basically all you get are, I think, the Wi-Fi radios maybe, and the 3G radios stay on. Also, you can set an automatic trigger. So depending on the battery level, you can enable which profile you want to enable, and also I think you can set it by time. So depending on what time of day it is, you can set different profiles, which I think is pretty handy. And I think that is it for the settings. And just speaking about battery life, now that we're here in the energy settings, I found the battery life on this phone to be pretty good. When I first got the phone and I was fiddling around with it after I charged it to full, of course, I managed to get around 4 hours of screen time, which is good. And this was like testing the 1seg, the cameras, sending emails, browsing Reddit, YouTube videos, RSS, the whole shebang. And I got about 4 hours worth of screen time, which I think was really good. It's better than my Nexus anyway. My Nexus only got about 3.5 hours with less usage. I haven't tried the Wi-Fi hotspot yet, so I don't know how it's going to affect the battery. But I am satisfied with the battery on this, and I think that is it for the review. I think I pretty much covered everything. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment, and I'll try and get back to you. Thanks for watching.